A dog named Tate came into animal services and they gave her, I think like a 48-hour deadline because she had been hit by a car. She had 2 broken legs, one in the front, one in the back, and a broken pelvis. And so really they were like, it's going to be $1 million to fix this dog. She was in so much pain. She was almost like unhandleable. And then she started to like trust us over time. Like at first she was like, who are you people? And why are you touching me and giving me medication? And she was really scared. And then she started to trust us the more that she realized that we were helping her. And then she started to act like a dog and it was great. And then she went to a foster home and they ended up adopting her. So it was one of like the coolest stories.
Welcome to Plant the Change. I'm Michele Fasnacht, founder of Solid Rock, Florida, an innovative nonprofit that includes Solid Rock Community School, providing K-12 education, and the Sanctuary at Solid Rock, offering lifelong care for animals in need. We're a forward-thinking, eco-advanced organization dedicated to compassionate, humane education. Tell me something that you feel that you've done that has really been a story that you remember that you think would be like heartfelt and impactful to people to hear.
I think that there's a lot of like animal stories, but there's also like community stories. So just recently we did a microchip clinic where we gave out free microchips to the community. And like that kind of work for me is really impactful because not only are we helping animals stay safe and get back to their homes because they have a microchip, and because a lot of people don't do that because of cost, right? It can cost like $60 to $100 to microchip your animal. So we did that for free within our community. And I feel like that work is really impactful. Gosh, as for a story, there's so many, but one in particular that I can think of is a dog named Tate. And a dog named Tate came into animal services and they gave her, I think like a 48-hour deadline because she had been hit by a car. She had 2 broken legs, one in the front, one in the back, and a broken pelvis. And so really they were like, it's going to be $1 million to fix this dog. Like this dog's in so much pain. And that was another thing. She was in so much pain. She was almost like unhandleable. We talked to our vet who is an orthopedic surgeon and we were like, what can we do? And so we decided to pull her and it took weeks and weeks. She had multiple surgeries. She had to do crate rest for her pelvis. She had to have both of her legs repaired. Then she had to have an FHO surgery, which that's when the ball and socket joint, like the hip, is displaced. And then she started to like trust us over time. Like at first she was like, who are you people? And why are you touching me and giving me medication? And she was really scared. And then she started to trust us the more that she realized that we were helping her. Once we got her pain managed with pain, medication, and she slowly started to come out to her shell. And I think that it was really cool for like our, not just our staff, but like our volunteers to see that too, right? That like this dog that they thought was like unsavable and there was nothing you could do. And we, it could have went the wrong way. Maybe she wasn't, but she was. And she slowly started to gain our trust, we gained her trust. And our volunteers saw that, right? They saw her coming around and then starting to like be a dog, and she started to be able to walk again. And then she started to act like a dog, and it was great. And then she went to a foster home and they ended up adopting her. So it was one of like the coolest stories because we didn't know if she was going to make it, and she did. And she's still a little scared of things, but she's, a dog and she plays with other dogs and she's on all fours and it's great.
Great. What's the most rewarding part of your job?
That like seeing animals, because we are a little different than a lot of shelters, is we take in dogs and cats and all the animals, but we also focus a lot on special needs animals and medical cases like Tate that are costly. They to take specialized, surgeon to be able to correct. But seeing those animals who maybe didn't have a chance or maybe were just minutes from euthanasia at a municipal shelter, we take them and we make them better, and then seeing them get adopted and then they're in their forever homes. And because of our, time and resources and fosters or volunteers, depending on where the animal is, that animal gets to live the rest of its life, right? Like it got a chance, like in its short time with us. So that's really the most rewarding, is seeing the animals adopted. Like Saturdays, like today, our open adoptions is great because we have animals who may have been there for a long time, or maybe animals who just came for adoption, and seeing them get adopted, it's great.
So how can people get involved with your facility? So Runaways Animal Rescue, what can they do for you?
So we always need volunteers. People always think to like animal care, and that is a big part of it, right? Like I said before, we have multiple shifts a day for dog care and cat care, but we have rabbit care, we have small animal care, but we also need volunteers for fundraising and any skill that you have, even if you're passionate about animals and you don't want to directly, take care of them, there's so many things you could do. You could write bios for dogs and cats to put on, you can volunteer time to do that. And then another big one is fostering. So we're limited to our capacity for our shelter with how many animals we can hold in it, but we can save more if we have foster homes, people who will take the animals into their home for a short period of time. And so that's pretty cool. A lot of people say, I don't know how you do it, or it would be hard, but it is rewarding. The rescue, we pay for all of their medical care and their food. So you just have to have a safe place for them to land for, a few weeks until they find their forever home. And so we always need fosters as well, because the more fosters they have, the more animals we can save.
And something with that also, when I mentioned about schools partnering with rescues and shelters, that is another great thing that they can do together. So if they partner together, now the school can advertise fostering opportunities to their family members. And when you partner with a school, you now have, hundreds of people that you can have an audience to, right? So you could be sending out, hey, is there a foster for this animal or that animal? And so we're really trying to make this bigger than you or bigger than me, right? We need help, sure. Yeah. But we also want to say everybody's needing help that's doing this. And there's ways that we can work together. So I'm saying to these rescues and shelters and schools, partner up, hook up and connect, and then you have this platform and these resources there. So schools, adopt a shelter, pick one or two that you're going to get involved with. And that way you can use that as a resource for field trips for your students, for humane education, for to help the shelter and rescue with these opportunities where the schools and shelters can be foster homes for these animals in waiting. It's a great opportunity for more education and more help and more of community working together. And that's what we really need to see, is a community coming together, because most people do like animals. Most people, they can do a little something. There's a little something. Yeah. And they don't have to do it all. They don't have to adopt the animal. They could be a foster for a few weeks, or they can come in and volunteer, whether it's writing something, whether it's helping with social media, or it is providing animal care. There's so many different opportunities available. And actually, I even know people who don't really like animals, right? They're not animal lovers, but they don't want anything bad to happen to them, right? Yeah. So you cannot be an animal. You cannot be a kid lover, right? Not everybody loves kids or animals. But you don't want anything bad to happen to them. So there's still things that you can do to be involved if you want to be. Yeah. So we want to get that message out to the community to start working together. Hello, friends. You can help make a difference by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing the Plant the Change podcast. And you can visit us at solidrockflorida.org to learn more about Solid Rock Community School and the sanctuary at Solid Rock. Your support makes a real impact and helps plant the change. You can also become a sanctuary subscriber on any of our social platforms. Your monthly support helps provide food, enrichment, medical care, and the daily comfort our animals depend on. For only $4.99 a month, you'll receive exclusive private posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and eligibility for fun supporter giveaways. It's a small monthly gift that makes a huge difference in the animals' lives. Please subscribe today. So how important would you say that community involvement and partnerships are to your organization?
They're really like the foundation of our organization, right? Like, so our community is who supports us, working together with everyone in the community. So like you were saying, so schools, other shelters, community centers, there's so many places within your community that you can partner with. Just like you were saying too, a school is great because you put it in the newsletter, you put it on the bulletin board and say, this organization needs fosters, this organization needs volunteers, and there's bound to be people. You have such a broad, you could tap into all those people who are like, yeah, I could do that. Or yeah, maybe I want to bring, we do, families can come and volunteer, or parents can come with their kids. Like, that's a great thing to do on a Saturday or Sunday, for a few hours. We try to give back as much as we can by taking in the animals and doing those free microchip events and the TNVR and the communities who supports us, right? So that's why we want to do as much as we can to work with our community to make where we live better for not only the animals, but the people too.
So one of the things that we do together that I really like a lot is you have dogs who come into you, and they come in a matted, dirty mess.
Uh-huh.
And it's hard to take cute pictures of dogs to find them homes when they're a mess, right? And grooming is expensive, and it's, a specialized field and that sort of thing. So we have a grooming program at our school. And so something that we do together is when Dani gets animals that come in a hot mess, she contacts us and says, can you groom these dogs for us?
Yep.
And so we immediately bring her dogs into the grooming program, and the students get to groom the dogs under the supervision of a professional dog groomer. And that is fantastic. So it helps our students with more hands-on opportunities. It helps you with your animals to find them homes. And there's other people that can be doing this. There's plenty of grooming programs in high schools out there. And I would love to see them partnering with the rescues and the shelters rather than just bringing in the dogs that are owned by their students who are typically getting good care.
Yeah.
Let's bring in dogs from a partnership, rescue, or shelter. I think that's a great thing to do, and we love doing that. That's so much fun that the kids enjoy it.
I know, I've watched it too. I've watched them get to groom the dogs. It's great. They all like take turns and do the little, the different things they specialize in, like one blow dries and one cuts. It's great.
Yeah, it's really great. And then the family seeing that, again, it brings the community into that. So I think that's really important. Tell me how you handle situations where animals are in dire need, but resources are limited. And it's tough. And we deal with this as a sanctuary. So this is not isolated to rescues, but sanctuaries deal with this as well.
Yeah. I mean, it is tough, right? And so if there was an animal in like dire need and we didn't have the funds or the resources, I would try and find another shelter or rescue who did, right? Because I do have a lot of partnerships. We work a lot. I would try and find somebody else who did. But if not, and I felt like, this animal needed to be taken in immediately, we would probably, do a fundraiser. We take to social media. We do a plea like, please help. We can only help if you can support us. But yeah, if nobody else could help, because that would probably be my first choice, was just to see if there's another rescue who has the funds or a foster home, and then take to social media and try and fundraise.
And what people don't understand is when we're taking to social media for medical bills, it's urgent.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, we need it.
Yeah.
And I've only had to do that a couple times so far. And it's tough,
Yeah.
It's really tough. People aren't like super responsive and ready to just, donate. It's tough to do that. So I want people to realize that when people in rescues and sanctuaries are putting these call to actions out there, they're desperate at that point, and this animal's life and their quality of medical care is dependent on these donations coming in. It's not just, we need donations for some toys. When you're asking for medical help, because it's urgent.
Yeah, I think that it's good that people understand that, because I think that maybe, if you ask too much, or they might just like scroll past it. But, when we're posting those things, we're asking direct like that. We need the money.
Yeah. Runaways Animal Rescue and Solid Rock Community School and Sanctuary at Solid Rock have partnered for various initiatives. Can you tell me more about this collaboration?
It started when we first really started. We had just barely opened, and I think it was Lucy who emailed us and was like, hey, I have this program. I think it's once a month or once a quarter, because they rotate. You guys rotate where you go. The kids from Solid Rock come to our shelter, and they clean the cat pods. They start off by cleaning them, and then we let them do enrichments.
And this is before we had our sanctuary.
Before the sanctuary, yeah.
This is before that existed.
No, yeah, before. So it's great. And so, the kids would come and they would clean, and then they would have lunch, and then we would do enrichment and probably bring out some puppies or something, for the kids to see and talk about our shelter and what our mission is. It's really evolved from there. That's where it started. Mm-hmm. We bring the dogs now to be groomed, which is really great. And again, like if we don't get as many surprisingly, we don't get as many wildlife calls. But if we do, we refer them over to you guys, and vice versa. You get a dog, you call us and see, or cats. So yeah.
Yeah, I love working together. I think it's so important that everybody works together.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in it for the animals, you do what's best for the animals.
Exactly.
Right? Because none of us can do everything.
No.
And when you say, I love when you say that you only have space for so many. And that's, I think, often where rescues and sanctuaries struggle. And it's hard. It is so hard. I have to say no to primates at least once or twice a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do so many people have primates in their house? Why, you know? But it's like, you can only take so many.
Yeah.
We want to take them all. We wish we could take them all, right? But it's just not feasible. And that's where so many rescues and sanctuaries can really struggle, because the people running these things are empaths.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We care so much. That's why we got into this, because we care so much. So to say no, it feels horrible.
Yeah.
But yet there's a point where you take too many animals and then you can't afford the animals you have. You don't have the staffing for the animals that you have. And now the animals that you have committed to, they will lose quality because of the quantity.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's a big struggle I see with sanctuaries and rescues.
I do too. Yeah. They don't know, when to say no or when. And then, it starts off as a good thing, wanting to help. And then it just spirals and then becomes something that can be dangerous for the animals, because people don't know how to say no. And like we said, I'm an empath and I'm a people pleaser. And so I never want to say no. But you just kind of get used to it after a while, right?
I will be honest with you and say, I almost can't say no. So I send everyone to Kayla, because I can't. I say no when I cry and I'm upset for days.
Yeah.
Where Kayla is so much, and Kayla is our sanctuary manager.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she is so much better.
She's like that.
But she comes from the wildlife rehab world, where they were rescuing 7,000 animals a year. Or rehabbing, I should say, rehabbing 7,000 animals a year. And unfortunately, they have to euthanize like 20 a week. And so they get tougher skin,
Yeah.
those kind of things.
And you kind of do, yeah.
So, and it comes to, I know we're going to have to say no. I always have Kayla talk to the person, because I can't do it. So I'm a wimp. I admit it. I know what my faults are.
That's the first step.
Well, that's the first step. Yes.
No, you have power. I do too. Yeah.
So, yeah. And I will tell you, when it comes to wildlife rehab, I can't even stomach it. I got to tell you, and I didn't know that when we got permitted for wildlife rehab, I was so excited about it, because I want to help animals.
Yeah.
And they're only here temporarily. They're going to come in. They'll be here for a couple weeks, a month or two, and then they're going. I thought, oh, that's great.
That's great. Yeah.
Right? We're not providing forever care, so it's not a long-term commitment. Great. The problem is, most wildlife rehab animals, they die.
Yeah.
They come in. Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah, they're like sick or injured, or they not really
have animals. You can't bond. There's no forming a relationship. You're literally not to form a relationship. You're not to bond with them. And so that's difficult, So the thing is, they're like hidden, so they're not having people contact. So when they come in, I might like peek at them. And for me, as a human empath,
Yeah.
the minute I look at them,
Yeah.
I now am in love with you and have a forever relationship with you.
Yeah.
You don't even notice me. You could care less about me, but I am involved emotionally forever.
Yeah.
So I've looked at you. And then when Kayla calls and tells me they died, I am devastated. So the rule now with Kayla, Kayla's going to watch us and laugh so hard, is that when the animals come in for wildlife rehab, just don't even tell me about them.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know until you know that they are stable and they are going to live and we are going to be able to release them. Then I can look at them.
Yeah.
One time.
That's it.
I can't do it. It's so hard. I mean, rescue is so hard. Sanctuary is so hard. Rehab, wow. It's just all intense.
It is.
Yeah. It's just so funny that empaths are the one who get involved in this.
Always.
Like kills us.
Because we're the only ones who would do this crazy work, right? Like, then we're the only ones. So that's why.
Yeah. And I always say, it takes a little crazy to do this.
It does.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
What are your long-term plans with Runaways?
Long-term goals, right? We would love to expand eventually to be able to house more animals, to take care of more animals. Our recent goal is that we decided to hire on a veterinarian. So we have, starting August 1st, a part-time veterinarian, which is that's pretty great. And then the next goal is we're going to be building out a surgery center, so we can do like a surgery room, I guess, rather, to be able to do surgery. And so we're just going to start by doing our own animals, right? We have a lot of animals. And as we talked, medical care is crazy expensive, right? So to be able to do it in houses will save us a lot of money. But then we want to open it up to start doing TNVR at our shelter. And then for, the ones that we trap, but then also for the community. Then we would love, like, future goals. I would love to have a community clinic where people could get low cost, affordable care for their animals. because a lot of animals go without because people can't afford it. I would love to be able to provide that. And that's what kind of coming with like the expanding. I would also like to have a farm division so I can rescue more animals like that, to have like, and I don't even know if it would be a sanctuary, maybe, but at least a place where farm animals would go, because I think a lot of times that people get so caught up with companion animals that they disassociate from, farm animals, from pigs and cows, and that they really are one and the same, and that they do all of the same things. And so I would love to have like a satellite location that had land where we could take in cows and goats and pigs and chickens and all those things, because there's not resources for them. Another big one is roosters. Like roosters get dumped all of the time and we get pleased to take them, but people can have chickens in their neighborhoods here, but they can't have roosters.
And male ducks really need a lot of support.
They do, because there's no place for them to go, right? So, and I don't even know how I would do that, right? Logistics wise, like roosters fight, like they do, especially if you have hens. So, but again, that's down the line. I would love to have a place where I could say, yeah, we'll go get that rooster. Yeah, that rooster could come live here until we find another place or not,
Yeah.
The big goals.
Great goals. Love them. Doing everything that you've been doing over the last few years, what's been the most surprising thing that you've learned since starting Runaways Animal Rescue?
That people want to help. I think that in shelters and rescue and just animal welfare in general, there's people are like, I started this, I work in animal rescues, I hate people. And, that's like, you hear it across the board, right? I still hear it, from people. I hate people, and that's why I love animals. But this is not an animal business. It's a people business, right? That's who supports us. That's who comes out. And when I started my nonprofit rescue, I never would have thought we would have a building, especially that was long-term goals, right? That was like start a rescue, get a building in 10 years, and that the community saw what we were doing. They supported our mission, and they were like, we want to help. And we couldn't have done anything we've done without the support of the community. So that is like the most shocking thing to me, that people care, right? Like, that people do, but just seeing that people are like, wow, they go to work and they earn that money and they want to donate it to us to see what we do. That's it blows my mind every time.
So what do you want to tell the listeners? What is something that's on your heart that you feel like you want to share or that you want people to hear?
That there are people out there in shelters who are doing really great work, and that they need support, and they need support from their community, fostering, volunteering, monetary support, and that we can make a bigger impact if we work together. And so not just with the people in your community, but also the schools and other municipal shelters and other small rescues and people who run TNVR, or you can all work together for that bigger common goal. And I think that collaboration is really key to be successful. And so I would want people to know that. And like I said, that farm animals are no different than companion animals.
A dog is a pig.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I don't want to get on my soapbox because I love my pigs so much, but my pigs know their names. They know how to sit. They're potty trained. Those are things that's no different than a dog. And I don't want to get on my soapbox, but I feel like that is an important message, that people disassociate with certain kind of animals and they try so hard to help dogs and cats, and it's great. And I love that because, we want to help them too. But also, not only pigs, but rabbits, there's not a lot of support for them either. These animals all deserve, to live happy, healthy lives, and to not get too much on my soapbox, but that
I like it.
Pigs are great. That pigs are great. But all animals, right? They're no different. And I think if people volunteered and they took their time to spend time with those animals, they might change their frame of mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. I want to throw this as an idea out there. I don't know if anybody's ever thought of this before, and what I'm saying might be crazy, but maybe it isn't. What about partnering with senior homes and seeing if their seniors who live there can foster cats? And that could be an opportunity for the senior to have some companion and responsibility, just a little tiny bit, right?
Yeah.
And then the cat has a place to go. And then I think sometimes the senior is going to fall in love with that cat and decide they want to keep that cat.
Yeah.
But if they don't, or it doesn't work out, then they come back,
No, that's a That's a good resource.
I think that's really cool because I know as a school, we go into senior homes. And I will tell you, it happened more pre-COVID. Since COVID, a lot of things and rules changed with
yeah.
schools going in. That wouldn't affect the cats, you know? So I think that might be like a cool thing to do.
Yeah, we can definitely.
And I mean, I know many people who live in different senior facilities and they have their personal cats there. So they do allow cats.
Yeah.
So why would they not maybe do something like that?
Yeah.
And so I just want to spike that as far as all the rescues and shelters out there. When you're looking at domesticated animals, not just looking at schools, definitely look at schools for sure, but maybe consider some senior homes as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. How can our listeners find you on social media? How can they connect with you?
So on Instagram and Facebook, we're under Runaways Animal Rescue. And then our website is runawaysanimalrescue.org. And you can go on there you can sign up to volunteer on there. You can sign up to foster on there. You can donate on there. You can see our adoptable animals. So it really does. It has links for everything on there, which is great.
Thank you, Dani, for sharing all the important work you're doing at Runaways Animal Rescue. Please be sure to follow Runaways Animal Rescue on social media. The Plant the Change podcast explores how education drives societal transformation, nurturing compassionate and responsible citizens, and plants the seeds of change for a better tomorrow. At Solid Rock, Florida, we're a nonprofit committed to compassionate, humane education, an approach that blends academic excellence, ethical responsibility, and emotional growth. We're doing something unique, and we need your support to expand our impact and strengthen our efforts to create lasting change. Visit solidrockflorida.org and click the donate button at the top of the page to see our current initiatives. You choose where your contribution goes, and every tax-deductible donation, no matter the amount, is greatly appreciated. Show your support and stay updated on future episodes and initiatives by following Plant the Change on YouTube and Solid Rock on Facebook and Instagram, at Solid Rock Community School and